I know I have been MIA and a lot of you all have been asking for updates. And so I'm here to give you all an update about what's been going on. First, we're going to talk about, of course, me shooting behind the scenes for the Women King. We're gonna get a little bit more in depth from my POV in this video. Let's get started.
Agoji! Uzu! Brother Mark?
I promise I'm a bad guy, but in real life I'm a good guy. Yeah, well, somebody has to be a bad guy.
I'm getting all teary-eyed.
Okay, that is my cinematography reel for all the shots, some of my favorite shots, and honestly some of the shots that I had left after giving them all the footage, but that was kind of like an inside scoop on what I shot. And you know, I hope you all really liked the reel. Let me know in the comments if you did. But in this video, I do want to talk to you all about a couple things. One, I want to talk to you all about my experience being in the motherland for the first time, how I got the job, and that was my first time shooting BTS for a feature. I usually do commercials and smaller projects, and I learned so much being on set of a feature film, shooting behind the scenes. And I also want to talk to you all, of course, about the equipment that I use. 2 different cameras, 2 different setups. We're gonna get into that. And then last but not least, I wanna talk to you all about the pros and cons, things that might've went wrong, things that might've went right. So the experience was amazing. It was through TriStar and Sony really took care of me. They flew me out there, first time in first class, first time in the motherland, had my own apartment, like all of these things. It was really great. And just made sure that I was safe. And it was super exciting because the way that I actually got the job was through Valentina V. So again, I talk about this all the time. I have a whole YouTube video of why I feel like social media is important, and it's specifically because of this reason. I release all my work on social media as, you know, my website or as my portfolio. People see that, and so when they're looking for shooters or whatever, they can have a place to go to immediately see your work and decide if this is somebody who I want to vouch for. And that's what Valentina did. We had known each other from social media for a while, honestly. And you know, when this opportunity came up, she threw my name out there, and it stuck. So I really just want to first and foremost thank her before we get into this for just even throwing my name to be thrown into the pot for this opportunity. It was a blessing, and it was probably one of the most life-changing experiences that I've had. And so the guy, Jonathan Cruz, I don't know if you guys know who he is. He hit me up. He shoots for The Rock. He hit me up, and it just went from there, and they end up picking me and choosing me to go and shoot behind the scenes for the Women King. So I got to shoot with Viola Davis and all of these people, and Gina was the director, and it was really, really dope. And just the experience alone, I got to swim with the seals. I got to go on a helicopter ride. I got to hike Table Mountain. I got to do all of these things. I got to learn some of the language. I got to meet some dope people on set. And so people who I still talk to this day. And so it was super enriching. Now, when it comes to the equipment that I use my Blackmagic 6K, and I also use the Sony FX3. Pretty much all in that cinematography reel, that was footage that I shot with the Blackmagic. That was my A cam, and the FX3 was my B cam. So it's something about the Blackmagic image quality that I cannot escape. It's so beautiful. It's so cinematic. It's just, and the cool thing about it is that you have shutter angle and you have these different frame rates that you can match with the RAs that they're using. So I was able to do so to get my image to look as close as their image. And so I really like that aspect about it. It's such a simple camera. So, you get in, do what you need to do, and just focus on shooting. And then, of course, I had the Sony FX3 because, I did know that it was going to be a lot of night scenes. So when you get a job like this, first and foremost, they send you the script and they send you like pretty much the call sheet, not the call sheet, but like a one line where you pretty much get all of the days. They tell you if it's going to be night or if it's going to be day. And so I knew we were going to be shooting a lot of night scenes. They even told me that. So I wanted to make sure that I had a camera that could shoot in low light, which of course we all know that the Sony does. And it was great. Anytime we shot at night, we would shoot from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I needed a camera that could withstand, and the Sony did a perfect job of being able to do that. And so being able to use the Blackmagic in the day and then using the Sony at night, because the Blackmagic was not great at night at all. But that was pretty much my equipment. I had an 18 to 35 on the Blackmagic. I had a 24 through 105 on the Sony. I had indie filters, Peter McKinnon indie filters for both. And I really tried to keep my setup as simple as possible. It was really all handheld for both cameras, and I pretty much just came down there with a backpack. Again, it was my first time, so I didn't necessarily know all the ins and outs. Things that went right and things that went wrong. The Blackmagic broke in Africa. Humidity got into it. We were shooting in various places, in extreme places where it's really hot or it's super windy, and humidity ended up getting into the Blackmagic, which kind of pretty much broke the screen. And so I couldn't access certain things. Like I couldn't change my audio from what it was. I couldn't touch screen anything. So the only thing I was able to have access to was the shutter. It was no longer shutter angle, it was shutter speed, and I had access to the ISO, and I had access to the white balance, which is pretty much the main three important ones. And I had to do everything manually with the little scroll at the top. And with that, it became really, really hard. But the worst thing that happened was that my audio broke as well, and I didn't know that it broke. And so I'm shooting all this fun and great and dope stuff, and there's no audio, and I didn't have headphones. And so that was a thing. I didn't even know, and I couldn't no longer see the audio because I couldn't go to it, so I did not know. And there are a couple of important clips that I missed out on, and I felt really bad because I'm like, you don't want something like that to happen to you. And then you're in Africa, so you can't just go and get something new audio or new this or new that. It's not like you going from Atlanta to LA or LA to New York. It's harder for them to get equipment, especially bats. So I was kind of like stuck. And luckily I found out. I ended up bringing a new wire, and because I make sure that every set that I'm on, I get really cool with the crew, I got really cool with the sound mixer, and he actually ended up fixing the mic. I don't know how. He used some tools and he fixed it, and I ended up having audio again. But there was a long period of time where I didn't, and I just felt extremely bad. And you just have to understand that things are gonna happen beyond your control. You just have to do your best with what you have. And so this being my first time shooting, I didn't know what to do at that point. So that is something I feel really bad for, and I'd make sure now that I don't ever have or ever make that mistake ever again. So that was one of the things, pretty much the primary thing. And so it was very much a learning experience, but it was a great experience. I got to talk to the cam ops and the DP, which is Polly Morgan, and I got to talk to Gino, who's the director. And I learned so much. Kathy, who's the executive producer. It was really, really great. And I feel like I took in so much. I still have friends to this day. So now we're here at the end of the year, and I wanted to give you all just an update and just to kind of, you know, say what I've been doing. I'm so excited the film finally came out and it was good. I got to see it. And it's funny because now when I watch it, it's like, I remember where I was hiding here. I remember where I was at when they shot this. And just now it's really hard to just watch it as just a regular viewer, because I'm remembering like where I was when certain things was happening, or if the scene was going on, what I got them to say after the scene. So the longer you're there, the more comfortable the cast gets with you, and so you can request a little bit more from them, like, hey, can you do this to the camera, or, you know, just different things like that. And so it was really, really fun, and I pray that I can have more opportunities like this again. Matter of fact, for part 2, remember when I said just get cool with everybody on set? So I actually got cool with the executive producer, Kathy, who just brought me to Atlanta, where I'm currently at right now, shooting this video to shoot behind the scenes for another film. And that is going to be part 2. I'm going to talk to you all about more things that I learned, because it was a completely different film and I learned a whole lot more for my second time shooting behind the scenes. So if you have any questions, please send them below. That's what's been up with your girl Brittany shooting behind the scenes. Thank y'all so much for watching. I know that this was just like an update, but I missed y'all so much, and I hope you guys missed my face. And that is it. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day.